Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of We Still Don't Have a Name, but thank you guys for your suggestions in the last video. We had a few suggestions.
What's wrong with Team Sessa Talks?
We've used that already. Let's come up with something else. But some people had really good suggestions, and all of them centered around the word folks. I don't know why. I guess you say folks way too often. But,
good folks watching this channel.
Yeah, that's right. We will come up with a name, but for now, we're just here to answer your comments, and let's get right into it, okay? The Tire Tourist says, I thought statistics show your first offer is often the best.
You know, there's been a lot of talk about that, and since the beginning of time, the first offer, they say, is the best offer. I don't know who said that, though. Is it the realtors that came up with that saying? So quick, fast, sell your house. The first offer is the best offer. Is that true? But you got to kind of take it into context. I could tell you, we recently had a property listed where the same night we were listed, we got an offer. And it was a good offer compared to what we were listed at. But we had another 30 showings, though, because that was Friday night the offer came in. And over the weekend, we knew we had another 30 or so showings booked. The best advice, in my professional opinion, to the seller was, let's hold off. Unless this offer is, astronomically higher, then we should really give an opportunity for these other people to see the home. So, and it turned out we had a bunch more offers by the end of the weekend, and the offers came in much higher than that first offer, which was a good offer to begin with. Yeah. So you got to look at the situation. If the home has been sitting, and you finally get an offer, yeah, I could see that, the first and maybe only offer. It's a good offer, but
I think it very much depends on the context. Because I know on this show here, you have said in some of the stories that we do tell, well, maybe not on this show, but on the market reports, you have said that that there are times where the first offer is often the best offer. Yeah. But in this situation, the first offer was really the only offer that they could have had, because they didn't give people the opportunity to put in other offers.
Exactly.
Right? And so I think that's where the real problem is. So sometimes, yes, your first offer is the best offer, but that's only when you have the ability to have other offers to choose from. Okay, so moving on to the next comment here. It's from Pauline Bowen. And Pauline, thank you, Pauline. She also said we did a great job in last week's video, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Pauline.
She says, hi, Santo. Do you think the large amount of mortgage fraud in Canada, i.e. HSBC article, this was one we were discussing the other day, is responsible for these high home prices in the GTA? Similar house in US is half the price.
Great question. I wouldn't compare our prices to the US prices unless you're comparing the same type of city. So if you're comparing to US prices in general, then you got to take Canadian prices in general, which includes a lot of the rural parts of Canada. So it's really It's really tricky, and you're not really comparing apples to apples if you're comparing our prices to United States prices. So, but besides that, absolutely, mortgage fraud and money laundering in real estate contributes to the inflated prices. I'm not going to say it's the only factor, but absolutely, anytime, for whatever reason, properties are being taken off the market because they're purchased in a fraudulent manner, there's less inventory. Less inventory brings prices up. And these people that are doing illegal acts, that are using real estate to launder their money, or using mortgage fraud, they're not so picky on the purchase price. And if they got to acquire that property because all the documents now, fraudulent documents, are lined up, they can't play around too much. So if they're going to buy it for $50,000 more, $100,000 more, so be it. They will. Yeah. And so, yeah, it absolutely affects home prices, raising home prices, but it's not the only factor, but it's definitely a factor.
Yes. Okay, so next comment here, and this comment might take a while to read because it is pretty long. Okay. But Green Bean says, Santos is 100% wrong on this one. As with most other agents that throw out this theory, which they do because it's less work for them to sell a vacant unit. Selling a tenanted condo is always better. You don't have to accept a lowball bidder when your tenant is paying rent. If your place is vacant, you can be sure that you won't be getting a good bid. The only reason why the average is higher for vacant is because new build units are included in the vacant category, and those are always priced higher to begin with. Santos here assumes you will be able to sell in a month or less. That is not usually the case unless you price low. If it takes 3 months or more to sell, the vacant is always worse because 3 months of carrying costs outweighs a slightly higher price. And guess what? That is why only lowball bids come in on vacant units. People can easily see that you are paying full freight for a vacant unit and bleeding out cash.
Wow. Mr. Double Green.
Double Green.
Double Green really sounds like for sure he knows what's going on with this. But let me start off. You're wrong right from the beginning, Mr. Double Green, because my name is Santo. There's no S at the end. So you're wrong right off the bat with my name.
Not a good start already.
Not a good start. So the first part, well, look, I don't even need you to repeat it. Mm-hmm. It's just not true. I'm not sure if you have experience in selling tenanted properties, and this is not just a condo thing, it's homes also, freehold properties. The factor is tenant or no tenant. If you have experience, I don't know how you can say what you're saying. And it's absolutely not true. The only reason realtors want a vacant unit because it's so much easier. That's not the point. If it's easier for the agent, it's less headache for the home seller also. It's really about providing the right service for the home seller. I could tell you absolutely for sure the vacant or non-tenanted home, let's go with that. I don't necessarily mean vacant as it's empty, but non-tenanted. So the homeowner could be living in the condo or the home. Selling a property that is not tenanted almost always sells for a little bit more than a tenanted home. It is more difficult to show a tenanted home. It is next to impossible to prepare a tenanted home for showings. And what I mean by prepare, I mean the whole cleaning, staging, painting, whatever you've got to do to show the home in its best possible light. You can't do that with a tenanted home. When you comment on the fact that, I want to sell it in a month. Well, let me tell you something. Days on market is a seller's biggest enemy. The first 2 weeks of a listing are the most important 2 weeks of that listing. That's when you get the most eyeballs. The most buyers are looking at the listing when it's new. You've got buyers that have been trying to buy for months, and you got brand new buyers. But after those initial 2 weeks, maybe 2.5 going on to 3, but after those initial 2 weeks, the only people going to see it are buyers that are new to the market or that are less interested. There's buyers that we work with.
Well, we see it, yeah.
That don't want to see a property if it's tenanted.
So I actually have a comment here that I pulled up from John005CA3, who actually said exactly that. When I was looking for a property, and this is on the same video, he says, when I was looking for a property I was specifically told the real estate agent that I did not wish to see any tenanted property that was for sale. Too many potential problems after purchasing the property.
100% true. So any buyer that we have that is purchasing a property that's tenanted, not if they're keeping the tenant. That's a different type of buyer. And the investor buyer who wants the tenant will normally pay less for the property. The buyer that is more emotionally attached will pay more. That's just a fact.
So next comment here, I thought this one was funny because it kind of proves the point of our video. So Demand1468 said, "What is this? A random condo hit piece? Anybody who was surprised by any of these things clearly had no idea what they're getting into. These problems are all easily avoidable with a good realtor who actually informs their client. Right? Well, I wouldn't say it's a condo hit piece.
Yeah, it wasn't a condo hit piece. We're just bringing things to the surface that are not always apparent, or real situations that happen to real people. And a realtor can warn people and see, like, I mean, if I go into a building with buyer clients, for example, and we're waiting, and let's say it's 11 a.m., we're looking and we're waiting and the elevators are taking a while, I'm going to, at some point, comment, you say, guys, look, if you like this condo, we really should come back, or even just them on their own, come back during rush hour and see how long they're waiting. Like, it's just logical.
If you're waiting long at 11 a.m., you're probably going to be waiting a lot longer at 8 a.m.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have clients looking to buy a condo. They will ask me, what types of people live in this building? What's their ethnicity? Were they younger? Are they an older crowd? Like, who lives in this building? And how do I know? Like, how do we know? Unless it's a building I'm frequenting, how do you know? The answer to that is really easy, though. You come in the morning at rush hour, or you come in the evening and just park in the parking lot, and you will see the people coming in and out or driving in and out. You'll know the type of people living in that building and whether you're, happy with that or not.
And I think another thing you can do is easily just any online search. I'm sure you got to take the reviews with a grain of salt.
Yeah,
but
there's online reviews.
A lot of people have written reviews on their building management, stuff like that. So again, take those with a grain of salt, but that is available to you too. And now this last comment comes here from our friend Parth Patel.
Mr. Patel, I don't know the question, but I can almost bet it's going to be a negative slant. We appreciate your comment, Mr. Patel, but almost always your comments have a negative slant.
Yes.
Here we go.
So his comment is, that last house on the video has been on your video since last year. I believe he's talking about 4027 Bloor.
Yes.
I've seen it's at least 6 months before, but on the listing it says listed 4 days ago. What's up with the house? And you know what? Let's not even take in the rest of the comment here, because there's a lot of stuff that we can dissect there. But why don't we take a moment to talk about Bloor?
4027bloor.ca. Look it up. It is an awesome house, but a very unique, one-of-a-kind property. The builder built this home with the idea of helping out the whole multifamily market, where lots of families are living together, lots of people, lots of buyers looking for properties where they could rent out part of it or have other families live with them, elderly parents, or
just to add more inventory to one space.
Yeah. Right? So he built this home not with a dungy basement that you could rent out, because that's what most people think because we got buyers that'll say, listen, I want a place, but I want to be able to rent part of it out, or I have family who's going to be staying with me, we need a separate place. You're almost always thinking of a rentable basement apartment. So the builder built this where two families can live above grade in luxury. The secondary suite, the smaller of the two units, is equivalent to a luxurious 3-bedroom townhouse. Yeah. Like, it's really, really nice above grade. And then the basement in this house has 10 feet ceilings, huge windows, 2 beds, 2 baths. Everything's roughed in, and permits are in hand to convert the basement into a third living quarter if somebody wants the extra income.
And even the main unit, it's got windows all over.
The principal unit is awesome. So he built this thinking it's going to satisfy what a lot of buyers are looking for when it comes to multifamily residential. And we have lots of buyers that'll from time to time say, yeah, my brother and I are going to buy a house together. Look, it's unique. And so we've tried different price points, and it's very unique, one of a kind, I think. I've not seen another home like this, and we've tried different price points. And now we have a price, because he commented on, 4 days on the market when we've tried last year. it's a new listing, new price point, new listing. So the days on market start counting over again. It's not a mystery, but it is an awesome house. And we keep pushing it and trying it. And we're getting really, really close. Everybody that goes through the house absolutely loves it. Not all have the budget to buy this type of house though.
Correct. And so for anyone that wants to check that out, that's again 4027bloor.ca. It's an incredible home. One of my favorite listings that I think
it's a beautiful home. Beautiful home.
It's a really cool home. So that ends our segment for today. Thank you guys for watching. Leave comments down below. As you can see, we use some of your comments from these videos to make the new videos. So leave comments down below, and we'll see you again in a couple days for the market reports.
Have an awesome weekend, everybody.
Thanks for watching.